Oh yes, who else would it be but Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy? Here's how I see you. I see you as part of my group that I've collected. And in this group, here's what we all have in common. We have lost our hair, we're losing our hair, or we're open to the fact that there's a good chance at some point we're gonna lose our hair. So you could have a full head of hair but still be watching this, knowing that you're still of that same basic demographic. Now here's why I say that. I call myself the internet receding hairline guy, yet many will point out the fact that I've still got a lot of hair for a 35-and-a-half-year-old as compared to people who are younger with less hair than me. So it's not like I've got the worst receding hairline ever. In fact, my thinning, I think, is the bigger issue than the receding hairline. What is that, squirrel? But for me, I don't discriminate. I don't care which category you fall in of that category. I don't care if you have a lot of hair, you don't, you do, you're thinking about it, whatever it is. You're part of this group that I've formulated, right? So what I'm going to say is and I've talked about this before, there's always somebody out there who has less hair than you. There's always someone out there who has more hair than you. So I just don't want to discriminate against anyone. And I hope that no one would discriminate against me by saying I have, who am I to talk about hair loss when I haven't really suffered as much as other people? You know, the thing is, if you're experiencing hair loss or have any anxiety about it at all, you're in the same camp as me. Whether you're completely bald or have a completely full head of hair, we're of the same tribe. Okay, that's what it all comes down to. We're all part of the same. You know, there's no such. I have no rule that you've got to be this tall to ride. You know, just come on in and we'll sort it out together. But I just don't. I feel that there is some discrimination among the hair loss community for some people to say, well, your opinion means less because you have more or less hair than this person or this person. And it just doesn't work that way for me. You know, we're going to get through this together. And the way I look at it, people deal with things differently. You know, my grandmother passed away, 3 weeks ago. I loved her. She was one of the most influential people in my life. Yet I didn't cry. That doesn't mean I didn't love her more than most of the people I know in my life. I just dealt with that grief differently, probably by making a video on YouTube and talking about it on my blog. Is probably how I dealt with it. I celebrated it, and therefore I didn't cry. But you know, you can have a guy like me who has moderate to average hair loss at age 35-and-a-half. You can compare that to a guy who has no hair loss. And you can compare that to a guy who has complete hair loss and he's 25, but yet it affects them just as much either way. You can't judge that in other people. You can't gauge that in other people. You've got to accept people wherever they are in that, because if it's real to them, it's real to them. Do you see where I'm coming from? I'm Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy.